In this video, we're going to go over how to implement the latest update within CoPilot, and that is our VirusTotal enrichment to our IoCs. So stick around and let's go ahead and jump into it. Open our .env.example file. You'll find that we have a few new environment variables, specifically this VirusTotal URL and VirusTotal API key. So I'm going to go ahead and copy the contents of this file. I'm going to go ahead and stop CoPilot by running a Docker compose down. And then I'm going to open up my .env file, scroll down to the bottom, and just paste in those two new VirusTotal environment variables. You could also replace the API key directly within the env file if you'd like to, but I'm just going to go ahead and add it to our connectors tab when we start back up CoPilot. So I'm going to go ahead and save that file and do a Docker compose pull. And all right, so with the latest version of CoPilot now pulled, I'll go ahead and run a Docker compose up-d and log back into the CoPilot web UI. All right, and now that we're logged back in, here I can go into my connectors tab. And if I scroll down to the bottom, you'll see our new VirusTotal configuration. Let me go ahead and update this guy and replace this with my actual API key. If you don't know your API key, you can actually access a free one directly from VirusTotal. There is a quota limit, so do keep that in mind. I think it's like 4 requests a minute and like 500 a day or something like that. But you can create your own API key directly within VirusTotal. So once you have that API key, you'll just paste the value in here, select save. CoPilot's going to do a validation check just to make sure that your API key that you uploaded works. So you should see this verified flag once that API key has been checked. But now let's go ahead and go into incident management. Let's go into our sources. So let's go ahead and now create our new Wazuh source. If you already have a Wazuh source created, you can just edit it. But here, I'm just going to go ahead and create it. Here's my Wazuh lab. And here on my button, I'm just going to select my SOCFortress recommends. And you'll notice that we have a new field name. So if you're editing your Wazuh source that was previously created, you'll have this same setup here. You'll be able to select your IOC threat intel value names, or you could just delete your Wazuh source and recreate it again and load in the SOCFortress recommends here. But now you can select the field name of whom your IOC particular values, whether that be an IP address, a file hash, or a domain or URL, wherever that exists within your source. So for our Wazuh alerts, since we provide our SOCFortress threat intel, when Graylog has a pipeline rule that's going to create this field when an IOC has been detected and with its respective value. But maybe on my firewall logs, maybe this is like DST underscore IPv4 for destination IP. And those are the field, that is the field name that contains potential IOCs. And this is only for when CoPilot auto generates alerts within the platform here to pre-populate the IOC tab. You can always manually add these as we go through our alerts, which we'll look at here in a second. So I'm going to go ahead and hit submit there. And let's pop into one of our alerts. And here, I'm just going to select this top alert here. And you'll see this new tab for IOCs. So I can go ahead and select this IOC tab. And here, if CoPilot hasn't auto-created any, I can just add my own. So here, I'll just do like 1.1.1. I'll select the type. So whether it's IP, domain, file hash, or a URL. In this case, it's IP address. And then the value here is going to be 1.1.1. And maybe my description, I'll just say test for video. And what this is going to do is actually now add the IOC to the alert. And here we have a button that allows us to enrich this with VirusTotal data. So this is now querying VirusTotal's API with the API key that we just defined and is giving us the results back that VirusTotal is providing us. So such as the overall count of malicious versus harmless. So 24 engines have detected 1.1.1 as malicious. If we go to, let's see if we can actually find like a real one. Here, I'll just say malicious IP. Again, type IP, paste that value in there. And now let's go ahead and enrich it with our VirusTotal information. And here, sure enough, we see 35 have flagged it as malicious. Only 1 has harmed it as we get some who is information. And yeah, pretty much all the information that VirusTotal is giving us back in terms of their knowledge around this particular IP address. But here now your SOC analysts can just kind of quickly enrich with the VirusTotal integration directly baked into CoPilot. Now, do keep in mind that this is leveraging your VirusTotal API keys. So there are some quotas around the number of API requests you can make. So if you exceed that quota, CoPilot is going to fail out because VirusTotal is essentially just going to be blocking your request. So do keep that in mind. It is pretty generous. I think actually if I log into VirusTotal, look at API key. Yeah, so I only have the free one as well. So here you can see our request rate is 4 lookups per minute, 500 lookups a day, and a little over 15,000 per month. Unfortunately, you can't use the VirusTotal API to like automate your threat intel lookups within like your ingested Wazuh logs automatically because you would exceed that 4 lookups within a minute very quickly and likely total of 500 minutes a day. But since this is being manually invoked within CoPilot here, you can kind of control now how often you do these lookups. So that is one thing to keep in mind. You can't go like totally crazy with it, but it should be enough, in my opinion, at least, to give your analysts kind of some insight into VirusTotal's knowledge about specific IoCs as they get added to you guys' alerts. So that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I appreciate your time, and I will see you in the next one.